CivitAI had its first big AI animation competition. Bold of them considering that watching a 30-second video on site still requires the computing power of the fucking Starship Enterprise. They called the competition Project Odyssey and did roughly dick to actually market it, but they did get 1,300 submissions across 5 categories, 2 of which are functionally meaningless, and 1 of which was just putting filters on a man in a fish tank, so 2.5 categories. But at the end of the day, how was the quality?
Sit, stand, kneel, walk, sip, munch, splash. I wanna get to you.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Oh my god, they're all dog shit. To be fair, there actually were a couple of them that I liked, or at least wasn't embarrassed to watch. But most of them are just these lazy visualizers or unfinished images with problems that are so easy to solve if you just take 10 minutes. And do you think that we can't tell when you use GPT to write lyrics? Because we can. Everybody can. He talks like a Wikipedia editor, writing a song from High School Musical, for fuck's sake. And another thing, just because you're making a movie for an AI competition does not mean you need to have AI in your story. And another thing, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. There were some of these movies that I liked. Nothing should shock you there if you've been keeping up with AI video generators. But they do prove the rule that if you go in with effort and a clear image of what you're after and a decent understanding of the tools at your disposal, you can achieve good results. The other day, I saw an AI-generated Elden Ring trailer by Lost Cinematics that hammered this home. The video clips he stitched together weren't anything we haven't seen people make before, but he obviously took the time and effort to make sure they looked right and applied actual big boy editing skills to create a final product worth watching. And it is worth watching, if you haven't already. Stable Diffusion 3 launched to jeers and boos from the live studio audience as people got a look at the fine print on the user agreement. Specifically, SD was getting dragged mostly because of exactly how much ownership Stability had over whatever you created with it, which, if I understand correctly, was all of it. All of the ownership. They've since backed off, partially due to the backlash and partially due to the fact that the second that there was blood in the water, you had other interests ready to swarm on them with SD3 alternatives. Frontrunner FAL-AI, headed by Berkay Gur and Gorkum Yurtseven, I didn't even need to get those ones wrong on purpose, that's their real names, rushed out what they called the 0.1 version of their open-source SD killer, Auraflow, which supposedly can generate similar results to SD3 and has a more permissive license called Apache 2.0. Can they deliver? More importantly, can you trust these guys? I mean, they're from San Francisco and they sound like randomly generated necromancers from Dwarf Fortress. No, you shouldn't trust them. You shouldn't trust anyone. The big takeaway here is that there's competition, which is good for you and pushes the technology forward much faster. And most importantly, it was only competition that held Stability Psychosis in check. Remember that. The video game voice actors section of the Film Actors Guild has decided to make what I'm sure will be one of many principled blast stands against the AI menace, demanding the games industry offer them more protection against the inevitable replacement by AI. This kind of puts the soulless corpos in an unwinnable situation. They want to use the AI to be cheap and lazy and make games worse, but they also have to serve their fancy pants, eyes wide shut artist buddies to make games worse. Don't use AI and the indie peasants will supplant you. Do use AI and your Hollywood buddies will send you to the shadow realm or whatever they do when you stop putting awful celebrity cameos and everything. Anyway, the voice actors went on strike, which is only going to accelerate the decay of the radioactive wasteland that is the games industry. At the end of the day, there's nothing that can stop people from using cheap AIs to replace voice actors. Any companies that choose to chain themselves to the expensive anchor of refusing to use AI, for better or worse, will just have to sink with it. Well, that's it for this week. This is Fuse signing off, and remember, small print leads to large risk.